All right, welcome everyone to this session from TomTom on our mostly OpenStreetMap community program. Hope you'll find it interesting and engaging. So on our agenda today, I'll give you a brief introduction of what TomTom is as a company and what we do for those who perhaps haven't heard of us before. More importantly, I'll share about how we as a company are giving back to developer sort of communities, but also to the OpenStreetMap community, focusing on three sort of use cases, that being the Western Sydney University, OpenStreetMap, humanitarian projects, and then a brief look into what our global OSM community programs look like. And hopefully there'll be some time for Q&A if you have any at the end. All right, so we at TomTom have recently built a new generation of maps on a universal standard that integrates both proprietary data, government data, as well as open community data, making it quite a unique platform to enable automotive companies, businesses, governments, developers, community users, and anyone else who would like to use it to solve their demanding use cases. We've gained a rich history over many years of innovation, starting with the first PNDs quite a few years back, moving on to establishing our real-time traffic services, launching our traffic index, our development APIs, to our current time now of inbuilt vehicle driving experiences where we aim to have in the near future automated vehicles, all built on our new flagship Orbis maps, built on that communication combination of proprietary and open community data. From that rich history, we've gained 30 years of mapping experience as well as location technological experience. We have more than 235 countries mapped with billions of features such as POIs, address points, buildings, road network, etc. We've become the number one product for traffic data, and we've become a valued partner across multiple industry sectors. We're now offering world-class solutions across industries for automotive, mobility on demand, fleet management and logistics, and the public sector, which is enabling smarter decision-making on topics such as congestion and citizen safety. Our products and services help a varied number of use cases across many countries. Here on the slide, you can just see a few of them, as well as the scope across the countries and the level of accuracy as well. We still remain a global presence as a global map maker. Our headquarters are up in Amsterdam, and we have 22 offices around the world with a number of employees that are based remotely as well that help in the map making. But with this history and experience, we've adopted a company vision, and that we've realized that it will take the world to map the world and to keep up to date with it. We're a team of more than 3,600 diverse individuals spread across the world, connected by our core values, that being openness, collaboration, integrity, that define how we work with each other, with our partners, and with the community as well. And we are achieving more by working with others. So we've established partnerships such as with Microsoft, Uber, Ultrix, BMW, just to name a few, We're also a founding member of Overture, where we've partnered with companies such as Meta and Esri as well. But that's enough about us and what we do. I'd like to move more on to the important part of our business now, and that's what we are doing to give back to communities in different ways. So the first way to start off with is we offer a free navigational app where anyone can download that off of the Apple Store or any other application store, and you can use that as a routing application as an alternative to, for example, Google or something, all freely accessible. Secondly, by the website over there you can see traffic index. Every year we publish our traffic stats, where you can go to any city in the world and you can see the stats on whether that country is improving in their traffic congestion, or otherwise do some statistics as well with that data. Can be really useful over a period of time to have a look at traffic trends, etc.
How are we doing? How are we doing in Auckland?
I can pull that up afterwards when there's time. So with these stats, for example, there's an agency in Australia with the abbreviated letters of BITRE. They pull this data off of our website and offer it as part of stats on their website, free of charge. Secondly, another opportunity where we give back to communities, also by the website that you see there, plan.tomtom.com, is where you can jump on there and see our live traffic data in action. This is a screenshot that we took last night, just around the corner from here, where you can see the roads that were closed because of the council was retarring the road. So it's live, really accessible to anyone who wants to use it. And we also know that the Sydney traffic management system also uses this as a reference as they do city monitoring around them. The next opportunity that we provide open to developers is our TomTom map APIs. So we release quite a few of them, such as map display, traffic, search, routing, geofencing, and Maps SDK. And our entry level into that is also for free, where you can use, for example, 50,000 free tile requests daily, 2,500 free non-tile requests. You don't need a credit card for that, and you can use it for basic commercial purposes, and you get free technical support from us as well. So that's all available from developer.tomtom.com. You can get a free API key there and get started. And also available on the site is documentation, like, for example, this, where you can go and use the code, and that will help you get started with your application if you want to use it. So that's a very high-level snapshot on the developer side of things, where you can interact with our data and get familiar with it, and see if it can help you with your use cases. I'm now going to move more specifically on to how we are giving back into the OSM community. Firstly, TomTom provides financial support to the OSM Foundation as a platinum member. We're providing also our time by being part of advisory member on that board. We also provided financial support to MapRoulette, which is an open platform of data improvement products benefiting for the enhancement of the map. We've pledged also donations to YouthMappers to support their continuity and partnerships. and also dedicating those communities that are passionate about mapping to continue. Further to that, we've also helped contribute to the Heart OSM team by providing experienced mappers and operational teams to assist and host humanitarian events. And also we help try and sponsor events like State of the Map, like we just did in the Philippines as a platinum sponsor there. Also to FOSS4G like this as well, to continue these events to facilitate collaboration as well. Further to that, we have local TomTomers inside their countries collecting data as they drive around. That data is all being uploaded to our TomTom global account on Mapillary for other community members to be able to access that data and again also use it for as their means are for their applications. So for just simple examples, we have HC who's based up in Taiwan. I think he's number 1 on the leaderboard for Mapillary. He's very passionate about that. We have Cass up in Belgium, also doing the same. Kieran, who's based in India, also contributing to the Mapillary data. Further on to that, we've expanded our educational events around the world. So we're giving back the wealth of knowledge and experience that we have learnt back to empowering the next generation. So just to name a few of the countries that are listed up on that screen, we've got Argentina, Chile, Indonesia, Kenya, Thailand, etc. And I'd like to now deep dive into one of those, mostly being in Australia and mostly Sydney. So in 2024, we reached out to the University of Western Sydney to try and do a proof of concept with them to see how we could partner with them as a university. So that would be that we would engage with the students in their Penrith and Parramatta campuses. The university was really positive about us being part of their curriculum. They allowed us to introduce OpenStreetMap for the first time on their geospatial program, as well as to have the students volunteer if they wanted to assign to an additional semester assessment. And we went and presented 5 sessions with the students where we introduced them to OpenStreetMap, how to get started themselves, how to use the tools available, how to reach out to the specification pages, and a Q&A for any questions that they might have. During 2024, we reached 132 students, and we were actually quite surprised that 80 to 90% of the students were hearing about OpenStreetMap for the very first time. We had, after that, 13 who signed up for the additional assessment. It's approximately about 10% of them, and they did some more practical editing. And part of this period is that they receive hands-on support from TomTom, also free, and we provide them with a certificate of completion at the end that they can use as a reference for their future career development. And this is also giving the students a tangible way to connect with the GIS industry to hopefully inspire them to be able to see that they can do a job in this industry in the future. This is a snapshot just from the curriculum. We usually go to the students in the month of August, and they've included us in the section which they have as non-proprietary and free mapping systems, where they introduce OpenStreetMap together with other aspects like Google Earth, etc. Part of the assessment is we get the students to map across different tools and do a couple of different edits. So we get them to do new coverage expansion. so doing new feature for the first time, doing quality improvements, so going to someone else's potential work, double checking it and learning that way as well. And then also the third part of it is encourages students to give back themselves, and we do a humanitarian outreach where they can select a hot OSM project and contribute to something that they're passionate in as well. The university invited us back in 2025. This time we reached 114 students, again finding the same sort of outcomes from it, that 80 to 90% of the students doing social GIS studies were hearing about OpenStreetMap for the first time. Most of the time they were just focused on proprietary tools. So this is really a good opportunity for them. This time we had 33 students signed up, so that's now 29%, so 19% increase in 1 year, which is really good to see. We're aiming to try and improve that. We're also finding students that are studying spatial data find this interesting, but also students that are not. We have students that are doing architecture, but learning about spatial data, also finding this interesting. So it's a cross-field insight for them. This is a graph which is taken from the one project that we do with the students, which is only to do with student editing, from the Oceania Tasking Manager project. And you can see the orange line is showing the students in the first year that we did with them. And then you can see as we get towards 2025, the spike in terms of the number of edits that the students have done, which is really good to see. The red line is showing our moderation. So what TomTom also does is we have a group of moderators who go just a little bit behind the students just to check their edits, doing sample checks, just to make sure that everything is still in a good way for the rest of the community as well. So over the 2 years, we've reached 246 students with 46 signing up, and we aim to try and continue with this outreach to eventually try and set up a YouthMappers chapter, because at the moment, with regards to YouthMappers, is quite sort of non-existent at the moment in this region. So these are some of the photos that have taken from the sessions themselves. And a few extra ones as well. I'd like to now move on to the next use case, a little bit further afield than from here, which is with OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap is actually a woman community based up in Indonesia. They are focused more on empowering women to learn GIS skills, mapping features that are important to women, but also men as well, but their focus is around women. I've included the link there if anyone is interested in reading up a little bit more about them. This is a poster that they recently shared during the State of the Map Global in the Philippines, where they shared a bit of what they are doing together with us as well. So this was also one that we reached out to in 2024 with our first collaborative event with them. And we've just recently had another event with them in 2025, where we actually had a collaboration at the university in Bogor. And there was really a tremendous turnout. There was a lot of POI feature maps by the attendees. We were using their platform to also recognize their contributions, called the OpenStreetMap Ushadi platform. And there was up to 150,000 edits that were made across buildings, highways, features that include medical facilities, train stations, etc. And we had 30 participants who actually showed up as a part of the face-to-face event, together with YouthMappers. We had 35 who joined online. And we actually found out that it was just initially focused for Indonesia, but this became a much broader outreach where we had people joining from Sri Lanka, Nepal, India, and the Philippines as well. And this has been nice to see a more natural, organic ecosystem being built together with collaborative companies that are focused around the same type of aims going forward. And that was ourselves, OpenStreetMap. CART is another company up there as well, and the POI team is also a social community mapping group. So us coming together, sharing our resources, really makes a big difference, more than just one. So these are some of the photos that you can see that were taken with the students, and also some of the women that were talking as well. So these events offer the opportunity for the community to have some social time together, develop their skills in presenting, doing desktop editing, but also doing field editing as well, which is good to see. A little bit more focused on the humanitarian side. So this is a poster of the one where we supported the recent earthquake or so that happened in Myanmar. We partnered with the HOT OSM team to help map roads and buildings in the disaster-affected areas. On this side here, you can see we broadening our influence also to help OpenStreetMap Rwanda, further help the women over there with the mapathon that we had. So overall in 2025 so far, we've had 205 countries that have been improved through TomTom generated tasks, 4,687 unique OSM community members that have collaborated with TomTom, and 2,001 new OSM contributors being introduced by TomTom. Here is a further glimpse of the numerous number of mapathons, editing parties that we launch on a weekly basis across multiple countries, showing that either we've managed them ourselves or we've co-hosted with other parties to make sure that we're inclusive of them as well and what they want to achieve from the events, which has been really good to see. Some further pictures of the worldwide work that we are doing with the OpenStreetMap community based across countries such as India, Taiwan, South Korea, and Thailand. Also Nepal, the Netherlands, Spain, Singapore, Japan, Malaysia as well. All right, as I sort of begin to wrap up, I hope what you've been able to see is that we as TomTom are not only concerned about making our own maps, but also about having impactful mapping with others. We're partnering with communities worldwide to build richer maps through collective action. We're building a map that reflects and serves the world, powered by local people, together with corporate as well as with government. Sharing our geospatial knowledge with communities and learning from communities as well. We share leads to help improve the quality and expand the OpenStreetMap coverage for the benefit of all. Empowering students in their geospatial careers, providing funding to community groups as well, and organically partnering with other like-minded organizations, companies, as I mentioned, the HOT team, YouthMappers, etc. But also there to encourage experienced mappers to also be inviting to new mappers as well who are trying to learn and get started. So if you're interested in wanting to be a part of the journey with us, you can come and speak to me afterwards as well. If you do want to see a bit more of this, you can jump onto the QR code that we've got there. We'll take you to the web page. We've also got an email address that you can send your questions to that we'll get back to you on as well. So thank you very much for listening, and hope you found it interesting.
Great. Thank you, Natasha. Do we have any questions in the audience? Kim, I have checked we're 251 down the list for Auckland's traffic, so that's not bad.
I have a question not about data, but about software, as we're at FOSS4G. Does TomTom use any open source software in their production pipeline, in their data storage, their management processing? And if so, what is your relationship with contributing back to the code of those open source projects or sponsoring them?
I myself am not part of our engineering team, but I know throughout the company we use a lot of QGIS. But on the other side, I'm not familiar with the other part of it, but it is something we can have a look and get back to you on as well. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the presentation. And do you have any stats about map roulette task closed by user? And because I know that the map roulette tasks are mainly provided to the community, and after a while, I don't know after how much time, are fixed by some TomTom employee. So do you have any statistic about this, and also statistic about the value that you get from the community? So how much data you get from the community and how much do you bring and stuff like that? This could be really useful and important from the community side, I think.
Okay. So I know OpenStreetMap within the ecosystem have their own statistics. I think it's called OSCHI, where you can go and look up any statistics on the OpenStreetMap platform. So that's one avenue you can have a look into. We ourselves have built our own internal stats because every map roulette project has hashtags and things like that. So we use that to generate stats in terms of which are the users that are closing the project tasks. And then from there we can see whether it's a TomTom user or if it's a community member from there.
And they are publicly available, these stats?
Not that I'm aware of, no. But it's... Yeah, I can take that on board and see if we can publish that. But again, most of those stats are freely available just through a different tool. All of our editors our usernames are on the TomTom wiki pages, so anyone can see who's a TomTomer part of editing in OpenStreetMap as well. But good questions, I'll take that in mind.
Kim?
I've done a bit of routing in the past myself, and I've been trying different apps. And one of the things that annoys me is that they don't use road hierarchy to be able to keep you on the main road until you get to the destination. So it tends to rat run a lot. What does TomTom do you know?
Within our maps, all of our road network is under different sets of classification, which determines the hierarchy of the road. So our algorithm usually prefers to take you on the sort of higher classification road, which is usually a motorway first. And then once you get closer to your destination, it then takes you off onto your lower road classification. But there are a couple of things that sort of, I wouldn't say complicate it, but then if you have a traffic algorithm on top of it and they know that the motor road is congested, it then will probably take you off onto a lower classification road to avoid that congestion. So that's the way our system works, based on our internal classification of the road network. I hope that answered your question.
It doesn't seem to be very successful in Europe this year.
Yeah.
There's lots of motorway on the side roads, and everyone else was as well. And it seemed to me that it didn't do a good job of keeping them on the main roads.
Okay, we'd love to get a use case from you and we can have a look a bit further on it. Yeah.
Can we get feedback on that sort of thing?
Yes, on most devices you can actually report a problem or an issue, and that gets sent to our central teams that investigate that further. And they can either give you individual feedback or otherwise we'll just have a look to see if we need to fix the map.
Thank you very much for all your support to Western Sydney and the OSM. One thing, is the calculate reachable range in part of the freemium model?
Sorry, do you mind repeating that?
The calculate reachable range API, or should I talk to you later about that?
Maybe we can talk offline about that one.
With the OSM, were you also showing how to extract data out of the OSM as well?
We don't take it to that level with the students because, as you see, most of them are just hearing it for the first time. So we just try and do an introductory session to them. And then once we finish the semester, we give them additional information where they can go dig deeper into it. That would be our aim, is to try and get to more advanced discussions with them.
Cool. Well, we'll wrap up there. If you have any further questions, I'm sure Natasha will be available outside of the session. But yeah, thank you all so much for attending today, and we'll catch you all tomorrow. Thank you, Natasha.